takes a nation of millions to hold us back. Never heard it. I've never been a big Public Enemy fan, probably because of Hank Shocklee and those loud squealing horns. Their production always has bothered me, even though I love them with Ice Cube. These guys produce Poison. The album begins with Countdown to Armageddon. This is a clip from the 1987 Def Jam tour. My older brothers actually went to this show when they came to DC, and I was too young to go, and I will never forgive you guys for not taking me. Ever. So the first track is Bring the Noise. The song actually points out a lot of problems that I have with this album and Public Enemy in general. There's not as much political commentary on this album as you think there would be. There's not a lot of stuff that's shocking. There's not a lot of explicit messages. It's just a lot of just bring the noise. This song also has the classic line, once again back gets the incredible, rhyme animal, uncannibal, which I don't think is a word. So the next song rolls into Don't Believe the Hype, another classic Public Enemy joint. Even the squealing horns on this one I actually enjoy. This song also has the classic line, all you jealous punks can't stop my dunks, which I'm sure a 16-year-old Shaq Diesel loved. So after the intro track and two classic, amazing Public Enemy songs, we get Cold Lampin' with Flavor, which is the Flavor Flav solo track. It kind of starts out okay. And then by like the middle of the second verse, it just, you eating dirt cause you like getting dirt from the graveyard. You put gravy on it, then you pick your teeth with tombstone chips. Flav. I know that the Old Dirty Bastard has no father to his style, but I think Flavor Flav might want to take a paternity test. Next, we have Terminator X on the Edge of Panic. This is a classic, My DJ is the Best song, which kind of skews away from what a lot of Public Enemy tends to talk about. But they have the squealing horns and Farrakhan quotes, which brings it all back together. The longer I listen to this album, I realized like this album would sound really great live. Like seeing them live with all this energy would be amazing. Next, we have Mind Terrorist, which when I first heard this, I was like, this sounds like it should be in a Spike Lee film. But I feel like this is probably the song that Spike Lee heard and was like, oh, I need you in a film. Louder Than a Bomb. It's pretty generic. Next, we have Caught, Can We Get a Witness? I know that Chuck D's rhyme style is that of a Baptist preacher, specifically MLK, but on this track he turns it up to 10, which I actually love. He sounds really unhinged. He kind of sounds like David Byrne on Same As It Ever Was. Next, we have Showing What You Got, which has the famous Lafayette Afro Rock Band sample, which is probably most famous for Teddy Riley and Rump Shaker. This is also something I never knew. When Jay-Z sampled this for Show Me What You Got, he was referencing this song. Never knew that. She Watches Channel Zero. Musically, I love this song. I wish more songs sounded like this on this album. When you talk about Bring the Noise, I wish more of it sounded like this. Them sampling Slayer for that guitar riff. Unfortunately, like the message of this song is very weird. It's basically about a woman that watches too much TV. Songs like this are a big trope in the 80s and 90s and even up into the 2000s. Most of the time it was a song about sexuality, whether it was Ice Cube giving up the nappy dugout or Diamond D with Sally Got a One-Track Mind. Probably all the way up to like Kendrick Lamar with Keisha's song, a song that he actually rectified with Sing About Me. There's even a part where like Flavor Flav wants to watch the Super Bowl or some sporting event, and this woman is like in front of the TV and he's, you know, she needs to get out of the way because, I don't know, sports are more important than soap operas. A Night of the Living Bassheads, one of my favorite songs on this album because it has a direct message. He's actually talking about something very specific. He's talking about drug abuse. He's talking about the people that use drugs and the people that sell them. It's a very direct message and it's one of my favorite tracks on the album. Black Steel in the Hour of Chaos to me is the crown jewel of the album. This song sounds a lot like Ice-T's 6 in the Morning. It's definitely a predecessor to songs like I Killed the Mayor by Pharoah Monch or Don't Die by Killer Mike. The story of Black Steel in the Hour of Chaos makes no sense. The story is that Chuck D got a letter from the government that told him he was drafted to go to war. He chose not to go to war, and now they put him in prison, and now he's breaking out. This is one of the few songs that's actually controversial. If there was a lot of backlash anywhere on this album, this would be the song that got it. He kills about 6 or 7 COs, but the story kind of doesn't make sense because US draft ended in 1973 after the Vietnam War. Chuck D would have been 13, so he wouldn't have been drafted. So the story isn't completely accurate, but it's a good story. Next we have Secretary of the First World, SW1s. This is probably the most straightforward production on the whole album. It's an instrumental track. I would have liked to hear them rap over it. Next we have Rebel Without a Pause, another classic track with the squealing horns. Yay. We have Prophets of Rage, which gives me really strong Run DMC vibes. The back and forth. I really love the hook, the okay, okay, okay hook. And the album closes with Party for Your Right to Fight, which is the worst song on the album. This is clearly the most dated song on the album. I think it's mostly because on the other songs they're sampling the James Brown track, but this one they decided to bust out the 808 and it does not age well at all. Clearly it's a reference to Beastie Boys' Fight for Your Right to Party. There is a lot that I like about this song. The simultaneous rapping by Chuck D and Flavor Flav, and it's split into each ear. It's brilliant, but the production on this one, it's not a good way to go out. I definitely see why this album is a classic compared to everything else that came out in that year. I definitely see how this influenced a lot of other people. I probably wouldn't listen to this particular album again. I feel like they've made better albums than this, but at the time that it came out, it was very different, so I understand why it's a classic. I probably would only listen to maybe a handful of songs from this album. Probably wouldn't listen to it again. So have you heard It Takes a Nation of Million to Hold Us Back? Are you still listening to it after it came out in 1988? If you've never heard it, I hope this helps. I'm going to be releasing these twice a week until I run out of albums, so thanks for watching.